Hey film fans, my name is David. This is Film Collector Archive, and today we will be talking about the most expensive item I have ever purchased for my collection. Alright, so we are out here actually in my family's dining room because what I'm about to show you really couldn't be contained in the filming location that I usually do these shoots in. So we're out here in the family dining room, and sorry if you do hear my dog in the background. He's in his kennel not too far from us, and sorry if there's any echo in here as well. This is a much bigger room. But recently on the channel, I did an unboxing of this book set on The Shining, and I was very excited to get that. I'll link the video in the description if you want to check that out. Very cool piece. Little did I know that this was actually the very little brother to a much bigger set. Yeah, so you can see the scale here right off the bat. This is absolutely massive. Let me just kind of put my hand out here. But you can even see in comparison to the Shining set here. This, folks, is the Taschen limited edition box set, one of their XXL edition box sets for Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Now, I have never in my life spent this kind of money on a collector set, really on anything in my collection. The only thing that I believe beats this, and it's not on a single item, but the entire Walt Disney Treasures collection that I have, I got piece by piece, and that amounted to quite a bit of money to locate all of those, and that was over a few years period. But this is the most expensive, most money I've ever put down for a single item in my collection, and I suspect that it will hold that title for quite some time, if not forever. This came direct from Taschen, from their US location. They are worldwide, and this collector's box set is limited to 1,000 units worldwide and comes in at a whopping $1,500. Okay, so you can see, and we are going to be doing an unboxing on this here, but I'm just kind of giving you a look around here, and I know I'm probably going to be getting comments about this. Unfortunately, when I unboxed this from UPS, the UPS box itself had a really big gash out of it. You can see there was some damage to the front cover here, or front side of the box here. I've already reached out to Taschen. They are sending me a replacement. I guess they had just a few others that had damage to the outer box, and so unfortunately that did happen, but I will be getting a fresh, clean, damage-free outer box. I'm hoping there's not going to be any damage on anything on the interior. We're going to be looking on the inside of this set for the first time together. But they told me if there's any damage elsewhere to get back to them, and they will, of course, get me replacements for anything. So just kind of walking around this thing here, and like I said, we'll get more into this. This is just a stunning box set, and you can see again just the scale here of the two sets here. I'm excited to have both. Now, for fans of the film, this is one of my favorite films of all time. And honestly, with a piece like this, The Shining is a film that I have examined endlessly over the years. And it's one that it seems like with each watch, I just kind of get a layer deeper. And, you know, watching, you know, documentaries like Room 237, you know, getting bits here and there on the internet, I've done everything I can to learn more and more about this film. And so for that reason, I almost feel like this is going to tip me over the edge of, you know, holding the title for me of, you know, my favorite film of all time. And it certainly checks all the boxes. And let's be honest, I mean, there are, you know, more than a few films that I could call my favorite of all time. But currently, when asked that question, I do go with Robert Mulligan's To Kill a Mockingbird with the great Gregory Peck and Mary Badham, and of course adapted from Harper Lee's amazing novel. But that has been my answer really for the last, you know, several years or so, and it's a film that I hold very dear to my heart. Gregory Peck's performance as Atticus Finch is my favorite performance in film history, actually. But that being said, The Shining, it is one of my favorite films of all time. It's one of the films I've seen the most times. I've seen it, I mean, if I had to ballpark it, I've seen it, you know, more than 30 or 40 times. I mean, it's one of those that I come back to regularly. It's kind of like, for me, like 12 Angry Men, films like that, where I just revisit them on a regular basis. Or Steven Spielberg's Duel is another one I can think of that I watch regularly. To drop this kind of money on a box set like this, that should probably express my feelings on this film. I saw this unboxed on YouTube, and I just immediately knew that this is a piece that I had to have in my collection. So to allow us to get a better look at this, I'm going to attempt to set my camera up at a bit higher of an angle on the kind of the overhead view that I usually give you guys on unboxings. I'm going to try and get it perched up a little bit higher so we can get a good view on this, and so that we can, of course, take a look at the materials in this amazing set here. And as I always say, I like you to be informed on whether or not this is a purchase that you'd like to make. I understand this comes in at an extremely hefty price tag, you know, so I don't know if there will be much interest, you know, in terms of actually making a purchase, but at any rate, it's going to be fun to take a look together on the inside of this set and see what is contained here. And I've got a thought or two that I'll share with you as we unbox this set. So let's go ahead and switch over to the overhead camera now. Okay, so a couple things. I do not have my microphone on anymore. I had to find another device. I'm actually using a different tripod to kind of get the best angle on this that I can. So I apologize. I know the audio is going to be horrible because I have no mic, and I'm in this kind of echoey dining room here. And I wanted to turn this so that you guys can kind of see this the right way. But we're going to go ahead and attempt to get this unboxed and take a look at this together. So I think you'll be able to see down here, there's actually an edition sticker. And so I'm actually going to open this up. So right here you can see, and I'm kind of going on a prayer and a wing here, or a wing and a prayer, that I'm getting all this stuff in shot, because the monitor that I usually view my iPhone, like when I'm filming, is in my office. So bear with me here, guys. I appreciate your patience. So you can see here, this is edition number 803. And yeah, this is limited to 1,000 copies. You can see here, you do get a quote from Steven Spielberg. You must read this book and then watch The Shining again the second you put the book down. And I don't care if you've seen it 50 times, I'm in that camp, you will never see it the same way again. it's going to change everything from Steven Spielberg. So high praise from Steven Spielberg. And I wanted to point out here that this was compiled. So there's Dennis, I believe is his first name, Rinsler, who's done so many great books on film. And then here you have Lee Unkrich, and then you have Kubrick here, obviously. Lee Unkrich, who is a director for Pixar. He actually directed the film Coco, which happens to be my wife's favorite Pixar film. He directed Coco, and he was actually the main author, compiler of these documents, and these took about 12 years, he says, it took 12 years to compile all the documents for this book. He kind of started down the path and realized how far he wanted to go with it. So, excuse me. So, yeah, this was no small task to get this put together. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. So here you can see there's a flap that you lift up, and then we're gonna take a look in here. And I don't know that you'll be seeing this, but then we have the cover of the book here on a sticker with the, again, the edition number. I got number 803. And then I'm gonna let this kind of hang off the back here. I think that'll be fine. Okay, so you can see here right off the bat, this is, my goodness gracious, this is massive. The first piece that we have here is very, very heavy. Wow. So this is a scrapbook. I'm going to, here, let's see if we can give you an idea. So this is a very, very thick, very heavy book. Not sure how much this piece weighs. The box set overall comes in at a weight of 33 pounds. So this is not a light set. Okay, so here we have some cool end papers, and I'm just going to give you a brief glimpse as to what is in here. So we have some cool newspaper clippings, and I'm going to just jump forward here. My setup here is very imperfect, so I'm not going to be able to maybe go quite as in depth as I would like. The paper stock used here is very, very good. So you can see this is, again, kind of a scrapbook format. Let's see if I can get this to lay flat. There we go. Hopefully this box holds up under the weight of this book sitting on it, on the edges. Yeah, so there's Kubrick behind the camera, but just really great. Yeah, just checking my camera angle there. I think we're good. Really great photographs here. I know there's going to be just a ton. I mean, even a few photos that we've gone through, there's photos that I've never seen before, which has me very excited. And then the interesting thing, kind of in a maybe like a ghost-like form here, we have kind of some missing newspaper articles. Some more there, and then again those end papers. Okay, so this is, oh man, that is big. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. So this box is designed in a really interesting way. You kind of go layers deep, like another layer deep for each piece that you're able to pull out of the box. So now, I know I saw this unboxed once previously, and again, here I'm going to try and push this that way a little bit. I apologize if this is not coming on screen like I want it to, but there is basically a little door here on the back that opens up, and then you kind of get, let's see if we're actually seeing this here. this door opens up, so you kind of go layers, another layer deep for each piece that you pull out here. So then this next section, so that pulls out so that you're able to gain easier access to this next piece. And we have this very nice embossed white box. It's got kind of a fabric feel to it. It's got the Taschen logo or company name there, and then the Kubrick with the authors there, and then the Shining, you know, kind of etched in there as well. Okay, so yeah, so this is a white fabric filling box, nothing on the back. It's got a very, very nice feel to it. And so we pull that up. I'll set that over here on the scrapbook. And then this is a box kind of like the other book that we have on The Shining. It has this pull down tab so that so it makes it easier to access the documents. So now this is going to be, again, like the previous set. So this has the typewriter paper from Jack in the film, and it's got all of the different formats of him, you know, typing all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So that's going to be this stack. I'll just go ahead and set that aside. Now I believe this is the piece right here, and don't get me wrong, I'm excited for all of this, every bit of this, and just the amount of reading I'm going to be able to do on this film it's just overwhelming how much I have to get into here. But this was the piece that sold me on dropping the money that I did on this set. This is a replica of the original of Kubrick's shooting script with his handwritten notes inside all throughout the script, the screenplay, that he gifted to his daughter, Vivian Kubrick. Now, Vivian Kubrick is the one who shot the making of The Shining, which you can find as a supplement on the Shining disc, on, I think, even going back to DVD maybe, but for sure Blu-ray and the 4K. There is a making of documentary. It's about 30 minutes long, and that is actually shot by Vivian Kubrick, Stanley's daughter, and he gifted her his screenplay, again, with handwritten notes. So I want to set this box aside. I want to get you a good view, you know, of at least a few of these pages. And the cool thing here is we have a finish. I'm not sure if that's going to come across on screen, of that the cover's a little bit tattered with the, you know, kind of like some tape had peeled up and got pushed over, but and the back is really worn here. I mean, just such a cool finish on that. And then when you open this up, sorry, this one's a little bit flimsier. It's just a paperback. Okay, so here we have a note. The Shining's script supervisor, June Randall, kept meticulous notes regarding wardrobe and prop continuity, as well as records of Stanley Kubrick's camera setups, number of takes, and relevant information about each take. She also scrambled to document Kubrick's frequent on-set dialogue revisions and actor improvisations. This screenplay is a facsimile of Randall's personal continuity script filled. Oh, okay, so this is Randall's personal continuity script filled with notes and Polaroids she took to track continuity. It also contains taped fragments of dialogue changes Kubrick typed while on set. Randall gifted this continuity script to Kubrick's daughter, Vivian, at the end of production. So my apologies. So it was June Randall's script that she gifted to Vivian Kubrick. That's my bad on that error there. But yeah, so there's this little note inside, and then it goes right in. So March 30th, 1978. And I'm going to be really delicate with this. And then here you see, I mean, this is so many notes in here. And then this is the whole screenplay here. kind of give you a look at a few. Oops. Yeah, sorry about this. This is a little difficult to show here. And then we get some great Polaroid shots. Just so many notes. I mean, I am gonna take my time going through this for sure. I mean, just beautiful. And it's obviously a thinner paper stock because it's a, you know, just the screenplay, but it feels so genuine. Man, just a lot to take in there. And then on the back here, and then again, just that great finish. And then the title of the film there. So that is wonderful. Let's make sure we have the note placed back in the cover there, on the first page there. Okay, so let's bring back the, so this again is still that white fabric finish box. Let's go to the next pieces in here. So here we have another note. So Stanley Kubrick first worked with renowned graphic designer Saul Bass on Spartacus, the great Saul Bass. Nearly 20 years later, in the summer of 1978, Kubrick commissioned Bass to create a poster image for The Shining. So this is going to be the artistic process that creates the that they went through to create the graphics that we know so well of The Shining. And I love seeing artists work and kind of the evolution of ideas into what becomes the final graphics and final images that we know and that we associate so much with The Shining. But some really cool ideas, and you can tell this is the work of Saul Bass for sure. If you're not familiar with his work, there's a great book that I've got on my shelf. It's a large volume, hardcover volume on Saul Bass's work. It's a white book. If you look for it on Amazon, you'll certainly find it with just a simple search there. And I highly recommend that book. But just really cool, a really cool look through the artistic process. And then here we land on, you know, just this wonderful cover here for The Shining. If you've watched my channel, you know, I've got, you know, maybe my favorite shirt is this image of, you know, The Shining, which I wear frequently on the channel. Okay, and then next up here, okay, so this flips this way, or actually, okay, there we go. So it's sideways like this. So in 2019, 2 long forgotten boxes of photographs and documents related to The Shining were discovered at Kubrick's estate. So this is going to be some lost photographs, some drawings, it looks like there. And man, I'm so glad that they were able to take the time. Lee Unkrich and his team were able to come across so much documentation on this film. So not so much photographs, but drawings here. And then finally in this box, and yes, we still have a layer deeper to go here. Members of the Shining crew as seen through the crooked eye of Tom Smith. So these are some artistic renditions. Let's actually take a look. Sorry about that. Let me grab this here. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is actually in part of the book that doesn't come out. In addition to The Shining, British makeup artist Tom Smith is best known for his work on Raiders of the Lost Ark, Return of the Jedi, and Gandhi, for which he was nominated for an Academy Award. Now, interesting note, some of the sets that were used for The Shining were used immediately afterward for Steven Spielberg's Raiders of the Lost Ark. So, you know, that's something cool to note. They were actually, filming went over time on The Shining, and so Steven Spielberg and his crew were eagerly waiting their turn. But yeah, some of those sets are the same location, so that's kind of fun to think of. But While working on The Shining, Smith was often seen sketching caricatures of the film's cast and crew. So these are some caricature pieces that he drew on set. Kubrick and Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Danny Lloyd. There I have the great Scatman Crothers. Awesome. There's some great pieces in here. Really fun. Kind of a fun book of characters in and of itself. Just a really unique, interesting piece, interesting document from the film that you would never even think of. Lets you know that maybe at least part of the time things were lighthearted on the set. I know there was some it was a tough filming schedule, and blood pressure got a little high on set at points, but fun to see something like this. And then that gives you kind of a look at all the drawings contained in the book. All right, so let's go ahead and put these all back. I'm gonna move this note down here in the screenplay so that you can see the title of the film there, which you obviously want to see. And then last but not least on this particular box is the typewriter paper. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set that aside. And then one layer deeper here. So this is really cool. You can kind of get an idea. This just goes, down into the heart of the box here, kind of like the film. There's just so many layers, and it's such a maze of interpretation and so many different things. I just love the visual representation that even the box is here. So here you can see, maybe get a better idea. Let me set the book down here. So this little door here that I was talking about, that goes like that. So then everything is enclosed here, but then so that you can have access to the contents, that just kind of opens up. So very, very complex, box structure. And this is what they'll be sending me the replacement for, which I'm grateful to them for, sending out that replacement. But yeah, hopefully that'll be here they were telling me maybe a couple weeks or so, but all right. And last but not least, we have this book, very much a blood red, kind of significant here, kind of reminds me of maybe the blood coming out of the elevator, the iconic shot from the film. Red definitely plays a part. That color plays a part in the film for sure. Here you can see we have just a tome here, very large book. So we have a foreword by Steven Spielberg, preface by Lee Unkrich, introduction by J.W. Rinsler, and Who's Who. And then it looks like this is just a written examination of the film. There's Spielberg's foreword. So this is going to be just a massive amount of, I feel like I'm going to be reading about this film for the next year, and I could not be more excited. I mean, I feel safe saying I don't think there's ever going to be a deeper examination on this film than what we have right here. Just incredible. I mean, this is overwhelming. I'm going to be totally honest. This is overwhelming. To have something this amazing produced for, arguably your favorite film of all time is just, this is a dream come true piece for me for my collection. Wow. All the way to the back here. And there we go. And then you have that same great title design with, again, the authors. All right, and then this has a nice bookmark as well, a red bookmark. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and piece this thing back together. So we have the red book there. And again, so this entire set, again, comes in at just over 33 pounds. And by far the heaviest part here is the scrapbook. And, oh, actually I acted a little too soon there. I have to close this door here first. And that creates the full platform here for this massive, massive scrapbook. And I mean, all of this just feels like it's just straight off of the set of the film. Okay, and then this comes back around. And try and pick that up there. And those pieces go in, and there you have it. So this is, I'm out of breath. I mean, this stuff is so heavy, and I'm just overwhelmed at how cool this set is. But this is the amazing, thorough, exhaustive, amazing edition here from Taschen, from Mr. Rinsler, Mr. Unkrich, on the absolute masterpiece from Stanley Kubrick of The Shining. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this very exciting video. I am just, again, so overwhelmed by this beautiful edition that Taschen has produced on Kubrick's masterpiece, The Shining. This is, without a doubt, my favorite single piece in my entire collection. Definitely the one that I'm most excited to research. Obviously, there's just a plethora of items to read through, images to look at. I mean, this is really, if you're looking for a full education on The Shining, it seems we have arrived at the document or the documents that will give us that education. So I'm very, very excited about this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I know this is definitely going to be labeled one of those crazy purchases, but I saw an unboxing of this on YouTube, and I just immediately knew I'm going to have to figure out a way to have this edition in my library. And even with the price tag, I don't have a shred of buyer's remorse. I am all in on this, and definitely wanted to make a video, showing all of you guys the set, kind of get word out there that, not only did Taschen do, this beautiful set, but they do a lot of great work. I have other Taschen books in my library, actually more than a few in my library, nothing obviously of this scale, but they have great books on film, fashion, culture, lots of great books on art. In fact, there's a Van Gogh book that I would like to that I'll be picking up sometime, hopefully relatively soon. But yeah, they cover a lot of topics, and are definitely worth your time to look into. And we're talking books that are, hardback books that are, $20-30. So they start at about that range, and then they go up to, obviously, this range, the $1,500 range, and they even go above $1,500. I've seen some for $2,000, maybe I saw even $2,500 for their XXL editions. But if you're into book collecting, they are a name to definitely get familiar with if you aren't already. If you are new to this channel and you're coming and watching this video and you find this kind of content interesting, I do invite you to hit the subscribe button, the like button, which definitely helps the channel, And lastly, the bell icon, that will notify you when I upload new videos in the future. And until next time, I hope you're able to watch a lot of great films and read a lot of great books.